Today we're making pork belly burnt ends, but not just any burnt ends, but ones that I've bathed in a special glaze that I'll share more about in just a bit. But we're not stopping there. We're taking these juicy, mouth-watering caramelized gems and laying them on top of a barbecue pizza crafted with homemade sourdough crust. This is a recipe you don't want to miss. So let's get going and let's start making our pork belly burnt ends. Before we get going on the recipe, let's go ahead and preheat your smoker or your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius. We're going to take about 2 pounds of pork belly and we're going to cut them up into about 1-inch cubes, maybe 1.5-inch cubes if you're feeling adventurous and you want a larger bite. After you get them all cut up into cubes, we're going to toss them with olive oil in our rub that consists of about a teaspoon of black garlic powder. You can use regular garlic powder if you don't have it. A teaspoon of smoked paprika, teaspoon of onion powder, and I'm throwing in a good heaping amount of California heat. This is like a dried chili crisp. You can feel free to omit this if you want, or you can use a regular oil-based chili crisp if you want to. And the reason I'm doing this will become apparent in just a minute. I want a good teaspoon of salt and about half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it all up, and now we're gonna add a nice little glug of bourbon. And you want about a tablespoon of olive oil. Whisk that all up and let's get our cubes of pork belly in there and drenched and fully covered. Now you want to take a baking tray layered with tinfoil and put a rack on top of it. You want the smoke and the heat to be able to get all around your chunks of pork belly, so we want that rack to sit on top of that baking tray. And just place all of your cubes, leaving a little bit of space between each so that the heat and smoke can get on all sides of our lovely, lovely fatty pork cubes. And now we're just going to smoke these at that 250 degrees Fahrenheit temperature for about 2 to 3 hours until they're tender and they've got a really nice bark. After that 2 to 3 hours, we're gonna take our foil pan and we're gonna mix up our yuzu Japanese barbecue sauce. So you see, I'm trying to take these pork belly burnt ends into a little bit of an Asian fusion kind of sauce. So we're using the yuzu plus that dried chili crisp. So you're gonna want a 1/4 cup of that barbecue sauce, and you're gonna want about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of honey. Don't use honey out of that bear-shaped bullshit bottle. It's not real honey. Find some real honey at your grocery store. It makes a huge difference. And 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Go ahead and combine all of that. And now we're going to take that out to our pork belly. Some people like to just dump this mixture right on them. I prefer to pull them out and give them a nice dredge throughout. Take a couple minutes and just take the time to really get them covered all over. And now remove that rack and you can set these right on that pan on the tin foil, and then you're just gonna cover it with another layer of tin foil. Just cover it loosely, and we're gonna cook that for another 1.5 hours. And after that 90 minutes, they're gonna be super caramelized and sticky. That is what you want. Now just set them aside and keep them warm. Now for my pizza dough, I'm using a homemade sourdough pizza dough recipe. How many times can I say dough? That full recipe is gonna be down in the description below. If you're gonna use your oven, heat that to 475 degrees with a pizza stone inside for about an hour. You want that stone to be really hot all the way throughout. I'm using my Halo pizza oven here, and I've got that set to about 900 degrees, and it's just turning and getting hot. I'm gonna let that preheat for about 15 minutes on my end. So once you've got your dough ready, you can buy store-bought or you can make it your own. Go ahead and get it all stretched out on a nice floured surface so that it slides off of your peel really nice and easily, because this is gonna be a heavy pizza. Now I'm gonna use a nice drizzle on the base of my pizza with that yuzu barbecue sauce and just spoon that around until it covers your dough entirely. I'm also using about 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese and about 1/2 cup pepper jack cheese just for a little extra spice. Shred that up, add that all over your pizza. I like extra cheese, but you do you. I'm also using about a 1/4 cup of really thinly sliced red onion. The red onion is going to complement our pork belly in a really nice way. And now we're going to add some spice with about a 1/4 cup of pickled jalapenos. Totally optional. You do you, but for me, the spice was super amazing, combined with the sweetness and the savoriness of our pork belly burnt ends. Now add those chunks of pork belly burnt ends. I went ahead and ripped a few that were a little larger than I wanted, but feel free to just plop them all on there, as many as you like without making your pizza too heavy so it won't slide off the peel. Let's get this on the pizza oven and let it cook. This dough came out better than expected. Got a really nice leopard pattern on the bottom, and it cooked in about 4 minutes total in my pizza oven. If you've got your oven set to 475, you're gonna wanna let that bake for about 10 to 15 minutes until your crust is golden and that cheese is super bubbly. After it's done, it's going to be ripping hot, but let's go ahead and top it with some fresh salami cilantro. Let's add maybe a few more chunks of pork belly burnt ends, and then you can also just, eat them on the side as well. This pizza was outstanding. I hope you give it a try your way. Do it however you want, but pork belly burnt ends on a barbecue pizza is next level stuff. I highly recommend it. And like always, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like this video and share it with your friends. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you in the next one.